Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Outta Boston here. Today I'm back for episode number 14 of my Brooklyn Nets MyLeague series here on NBA 2K16. So, as we approach the trade deadline, one trade target I had was Andre Iguodala from the Golden State Warriors. He's fallen out of the rotation there with the emergence of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, so I decided to give up Lance Stephenson, Shelvin Mack, and a second-round pick, and we pick up Andre Iguodala, a future first and a future second. So we actually get a future first-round pick out of that trade, too, which I liked, but as we move up, closer towards the deadline here, I did sort of want to discuss what you guys thought my Nets team could use at the deadline. I thought Iguodala made sense, a nice two-way player, a good perimeter defender, and I gave up Lance Stephenson for him. I figured Golden State could probably use a backup point guard since they lost Sean Livingston. Livingston actually is going to play on this Pistons team that we're going up against in this episode, but I figured Stephenson could be of some use on that roster, and here I have Iguodala starting over Harrison Barnes this game. I wasn't really sure if I should be using Barnes off the bench or Iguodala. I think Iguodala's got a slightly higher overall. Really, you couldn't go wrong. I mean, having Iguodala come off the bench in a six-man type role, especially where he can, use lead the second offense, as a secondary ball handler, even as a primary ball handler in the second unit. I think, he could really fit well in that kind of role. So he's got some versatility for us, which is, one reason why I like the trade. It's an expiring contract. It's only 1 year, so it's a big salary. It's a big cap number, but it's only, it's not a long-term deal, of course. So that really shouldn't affect us too much. And other than that, I don't really know what this team might need. I mean, I think we've sort of struggled as of late. We were about 500 coming out of the last episode. I think we're maybe 4 or 5 games under 500 now. So the simulation hasn't really treated us too well in the last month or so. And I think we're right now 8th in the conference, but only maybe a half game, 1 game up of the 9th seed. So it's a very tight race right now for that 8th spot, and it's something I'd definitely like to, keep going after throughout the season. I think this is a year we should be making the playoffs. I mean, we don't own our first-round pick, so it is sort of pointless for us to, even think about tanking or anything like that. So, I mean, I don't think, quote-unquote, blowing up what we have makes too much sense. I think adding on to it, if anything, is the way to go. But, of course, we don't have a lot of assets on our team, and we don't have a lot of future picks, and I don't really want to be giving up future draft picks just to make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference and, get my crap stomped in the first round. So, we'll see. It's kind of an interesting spot, and I think, point guard could be a spot we could look to upgrade. I mean, we have Jordan Clarkson starting there. He had a pretty good game here tonight. And, Clarkson and Smart, 2 pretty good players. I wouldn't say either is really, I don't know if either is, at this point in the game, starting caliber. At least not on, on a really good team. So that's a spot I could see upgrading. But other than that, I mean, our big men are certainly set. I think we're probably good with our backup big men, too. I think it's just, we sort of already added a wing. One thing I liked about the Andre Iguodala trade was I'm hoping it'll free up some more playing time for Terrence Ross, too. I want Ross to take some of Stevenson's minutes, but Stevenson was a guy on an expiring contract that I felt like I'd sort of, I don't know, I just didn't think I was going to re-sign him. I don't know, I mean, if he could shoot more, it would make more sense to keep him, but if he's going to have the ball in his hand so much, but he can't shoot, it's kind of a problem for my offense. And so I just felt like long-term Stevenson probably didn't have a role in the team. That's why I thought I could flip him for Iguodala, even though Iguodala long-term is certainly not the superior asset to have. But either way, we're at the end of the first quarter here. Stan Van Gundy telling his team to build a wall as they have a 1-point lead here at the end of 1. Actually, they're down by 1, excuse me. It is 24-23. Brooklyn is on top. And you can see here is Reggie Jackson bringing the ball up. He's going to find his man out into the corner, Bargnani. And that's, of course, Andrea Bargnani we traded in the first Brooklyn Nets episode. I didn't even want to bother having him on my team for 1 game in season number 1. I traded him immediately. Here's an alley-oop to Andre Iguodala. That's probably my favorite part of having Iggy on the team, is on the fast break, he's pretty much automatic if you lob it up to him. Check out the block by Derek Favors. That was pretty ridiculous. Never going to go on the break here. Lopez is actually going to get fouled here, and he would knock down both. So here we go. It's a 32-32 game. Here's Bargnani pulling up. He misses, but the rebound, Taj Gibson. And Gibson, really a nice pickup by this Detroit team. I'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of the game because it comes up a couple times at the end of the game, but I've talked about this sort of before. The pick and roll is so good in this game that if you have good defensive bigs, it's really, really important, especially bigs who can get their hands in the passing lane. When I played the Miami Heat in Season 1, I think Hassan Whiteside had like 8 or 9 steals in that game. It was ridiculous. Almost all of them were just off of intercepting pick and roll passes. And the same thing's going to happen here tonight. Taj Gibson and Andre Drummond combined for 9 steals. I think Gibson had 5 and Drummond had 4. So it's the same type of thing. They just have active hands. They get them in the passing lanes. And, I'm running the pick and roll so much because it's really the best sort of offensive, it's your offensive go-to sort of move in this game. And you can see here I'm going to it right here. And this time, Drummond comes a little bit too close, and it's going to let Favors get open under the basket there. But Detroit's up by 7 here at the end of the quarter, and we're going to end up getting the rebound there, but time expires, so Detroit heads into the half up by 7. 49-42 is the score. And you can see Marcus Smart walking off, not too happy. We've got a battle of the sleeve jerseys out here tonight, but you can see, despite outshooting Detroit, this is again the turnover thing. They've got 6 steals, we've got none. We are out rebounding them though, but you can see 8 turnovers, no turnovers for Detroit. That is huge for them so far. Here's a nice little pick and pop with Eric Gordon and Derek Favors. He knocks down the jumper, so we get the lead down to 5 now, 51-46. Here's 53-46. Reggie Jackson with the ball, tries to pull up, instead passes out of it into the corner, and that is Stanley Johnson knocking down the 3. The first year, actually, he'd be a second year, I guess now, out of Arizona. There's Reggie Jackson with the spin layup. He's going to go down, though. He rolls his ankle, so we would actually come up in the next possession, try to get a quick 3 off. Iguodala misses, and then look at this. Jackson's all healthy now. He's getting back up. He's looking for the ball, but they wouldn't even get it to him, so thought that was kind of funny there. Here we go, though. Down 11. Clarkson looking down low. Finds Lopez out to Bogdanovich for 3. He knocks that one down. Bogdanovich is another guy I'm thinking about trading. He's got 1 year left on his contract, unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. And he's really fallen out of the rotation. That was a sweet pass, though, from Iggy to Jordan Clarkson. But like I said, I think Clarkson had 12 and 8 this game. But here we go now. Bargnani being defended by Bular. I can never get the guy. Everyone always yells at me in the comments. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. But here we go now. Nice pass from Clarkson down low to Terrence Ross. And he gets the and 1 right there. So a nice move. We got the lead down to 3. Nice little run here from Brooklyn. It's a 1-point game now. Bargnani's 3 is no good. Rebounded by Robinson. He's going to look for the outlet to Fournier. Fournier on the break to Barnes. And he slams it home to give Brooklyn the lead. 65-64. Their first lead of the quarter. Now back down by 2. It's Fournier going all the way to the hoop. Check out the animation right there. That was a nice animation. I like that. He sort of hid the ball, protected the ball, and then kissed it off the glass there. So now we're down by 3. It's Taj Gibson with it. Pulls up and knocks that down. A big shot from Taj. Like I said, big game out of Taj today, both on offense and defense. Thought he played really well. Here's a nice little pick and roll with Harrison Barnes, but he gets blocked by Bargnani. How do you get blocked by Andrea Bargnani? Here comes Livingston. He's going to put up the full court shot. It would not go, but we are through 3. Detroit on top by 6. 73-67 is your score. And Detroit's got a 6-point lead to work with here as we enter the 4th and final quarter of regulation here. As we are underway in the 4th, about 30 seconds in or so, is Clarkson fighting Eric Gordon on the break 2-handed slam. So we get the lead back down to 6 now. It's 75-69, now 77-71. Jackson with it, still hobbled by that ankle, but he gets right by Clarkson to the hoop, and then Lopez ends up on his rear. Don't know how that happened, but Jackson gets the layup to go either way. Now 8-point game. It's Eric Gordon looking down low, but there's Andre Drummond with one of those steals on the pick and roll that I was talking about. And the other way, it's Courtney Lee giving it to Stanley Johnson with the contact layup, and Detroit's up by 10. Next time down, we're trying to go for another pick and roll, but this time it's Gibson getting his hands in the passing lane. Outlet to Courtney Lee all the way to the hoop, and he gets the layup to go. Detroit up by 12 now. Now still a 12-point game. Here comes Detroit again. It's Reggie Jackson pulls up, and he gets that to go. So Detroit pulling away now with just over 5 minutes to play. It's a 14-point game. This one is just about over at this point. It's looking like. Here we go. Lopez, though, got the size advantage on Gibson. He takes advantage and kisses that one off the glass. Get the lead back down to 12, but now it's back up to 14. Here are the Pistons on offense. It's Drummond down low, being covered by Clarkson. That's a mismatch, and Drummond slams it home. Go up by 16. Now it's Clarkson with the ball looking for it. Lopez in the post. Probably should have hit the cutting Clarkson there. Get it to him in the baseline. He knocks down the jumper. So his good game continues. But still, it looks like it's going to be too little too late. There's another turnover from Brooklyn. Lee gets it down low to Johnson. Layup is good. They're up by 16 now with 3 minutes to play. Back to a 14-point game. But here's Courtney Lee in the corner, and he knocks that one down. So now it is a 17-point game, as it is 96, or it was 96, at 279, now 98-81. Here is a three-pointer. That one somehow goes in. This was just an unreal barrage of shots here being made by the Pistons at the end of the game. Bular is going to get one final bucket for the Nets, though. He would make it 101-83, and that would be the score that would hold final. As you can see, the clock winds down, and Detroit picks up the win. So they entered play, I think, 4th or 5th in the Eastern Conference. They're looking like they're going to be a playoff team, a pretty solid team. And, you know, in Detroit, can't be too mad about losing in Detroit to a playoff team like that, but to get blown up by 18 points, and, you know, overall I didn't think the team played that well. 16 turnovers, they only had 1. That was a huge difference in the game, and that really did us in. So anyway, take a look at the box score. Like I said, I don't think anyone played particularly well. I thought Clarkson had a good game. Favors wasn't bad, but other than that, I thought Gordon struggled. I didn't think Iguodala was that great, and was kind of disappointed with the level of play. But Jackson, Bargnani, Drummond led the way. They were all in double figures. Gibson as well. There you see 5 steals from Gibson, 4 from Drummond. I'll highlight that in a sec. You can see I'm going to go back to it. There it is. But anyway, that is going to do it. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the 2K postgame show.
Welcome back, everybody. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaq and the Jet as we present our Jordan Player of the Game, Taj Gibson. What are your thoughts, Kenny, on his game tonight?
We got to give it up to him for his defensive performance tonight. That was one active set of hands on him. 5 steals were the result of his work on the defensive end. And as disruptive as he was on D, I'm almost surprised he only had 5.
You know what, Ernie? I must admit it. I didn't see this kind of performance coming from him tonight. He's been coming off a stretch of game where he just looked lost out there. To see him turn around this quickly, it's a nice surprise. Play after play, he was getting after it, making plays, and making it look easy.
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. Good night, everybody.